Two people. That big dream front row. For the real teacher pet fit.
Oh, he's giving me back my folder right away? Huh?
Yesterday, yes, I'm getting that off last night. I know what you're doing. It's 3:41.
I know what it is. Because when I heard the news this morning, I didn't know, like, survey or whatever. First thing was, the old people day, and they wanted hands. They had in the hospital.
Yeah, Ron, clean up, you do it, and smoke tomorrow. Well, okay, Star, there's one from last, Star. Jack, there's a driving class July 19th in Arcadia, can I go?
Yeah. You
Thank
make
you.
it?
Huh?
You make it?
Yeah, it's.
Thank you very much. Start with the pledge. We'll get started.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry, I was just having to print something off for somebody, so. Okay, so we're going to start tonight's meeting with the public hearing for the special assessment. So I will open that public hearing at 7:01. And then we'll open it up for public comment. Yes.
I'd like to know if you definitively came up with a total amount that the change will be. I've heard 68 and then I've heard 65.
We thought 67, wasn't that gonna be our number? Yes. Yes, we believe it was 67. Okay. So going from $58 roughly and some change to 67.
Is that per thousand value on, I don't understand, is that?
Total per year. So the special assessment is a flat amount that you pay, that every improved parcel pays, per year. And estimating what the next 3 years will be is supposed to be, through public services, it was about a 5% increase is what we should expect over the next 3 years, each year. So that should cover us. We should have a little bit extra the first year, equal the second year, and then that little extra should cover where we might have a little bit of a downfall the next year. Okay, the final and third year, and then we have to do this whole process all over again, because that's how the special assessment works, where every 3 years you have to renew it. And that is for the trash pickup that we have. Okay.
Is it going to continue to include recycling, or are you going to phase that out?
It's going to include recycling at this point.
Will it go down if we don't do recycling?
The only reason I would see getting rid of recycling is if it got to be too expensive to do it. Now, our county is putting a trash recycling, they got a $2 million grant to try to build a recycling center which I'm fighting very hard against that, because then to operate it would be an operating millage on us all. And I'm sorry, I'm not taking my plastic and glass 9 miles. I'm not saving the planet by taking my little bag of plastic 9 miles over to Bear Lake to bring it back. You know, an 18-mile round trip, I'm not doing. So I would like to keep our recycling here. So, anybody else? Yes.
We have a cabin that it was built back in the 1930s. It has no electricity, it's not a true track. It's not what I would refer to as improved property, which you use as a definition. Is there a way to get an exemption for that? Because when we have trash, we take it out of the area because it's in the middle of the national forest. It's not like you've got trash bins sitting around or trash pickup.
Yep. So what our trash special assessment is for is we have 2 days a week, and I know that does, I was just talking to your husband about it in the office. It does make it hard for some folks that, you know, you get up here on a Friday night, you don't have a lot of trash by Saturday morning, and you leave on Sunday and you don't have, you know, you're not here on Wednesday. So it's not a perfect system, but the way that an improved parcel is, and there is no exemption to exempt out or exempt in, it is all improved parcels where a vacant piece of land has $1,000 or more man-made improvement on it. Well, could be a deck, could be a shed, you know, that's valued at more than $1,000. So that is what the definition is for improved parcel. Okay, so if you have a parcel that you pull a trailer and you just have a well, it's still an improved parcel.
No running water, no electricity,
But you have a cabin. You have
built
man-made
logs on the land that
yeah,
were already
I get it, I understand,
No, 1930.
and I get it, and there are some folks like yourself that it's getting to be less and less, and that is a little bit of the reason why we are looking to increase, because our trash is going up, because we have more people living here, than we have that are just vacationers anymore, you know, people have moved up here, so. It is not a perfect system, but it's a system that we're allowed to have through the state.
You said there's a place to dump this trash?
Yes, our transfer station right there. So in your winter tax bill, you get that trash card.
Right.
And you can bring it on Saturday mornings from 9 until noon, and on Wednesday nights from 4 until 7 in the summer, 6 in the winter. 4 to 6. We go 2 hours in the winter.
Say those days again.
Saturday and Wednesday.
Saturday and Wednesday.
Yep. Yeah, we used to just do 1 day.
Right.
When we used to have the dump in the truck, and then when we went to the compactor, we went to 2 days.
So people from everywhere bring their trash to there,
Yes.
and why aren't they taking care of their own trash?
Because we do it this way, because local pickup for our area is about $400+ a year, if you have to pick up your house. Some people still choose to do so. My very good friend here in the township, I won't say his name, but him and his wife they pay the special assessment, plus they pay to have trash picked up right at their house.
And there's
Because there is no option.
there's not a way to access that Monday through the whole week? I mean,
The trash compactor?
anything, if I'm up by the weekend, I wanna bring my trash,
No, we have it, it's a lock system because we don't want anybody running it.
okay, so we got a drop spot.
Well, drop trash, then
I
it
get
gets,
it.
it gets torn up by the animals, and then our guys will spend hours. We just have the transfer station open those times. If not, if the animals get into it, it gets kind of destroyed. And then I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen is there's counties and townships to the south of us that have no trash pickup at all. They will be dropping it off here in Orange Township.
And I
You know what
get
I mean?
that.
We get the abuse of it, so it's not a perfect system. I'm not saying
Right,
it is.
no, I get
We
you.
try to tweak it whenever we can, but it's a system that we have, so. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So I agree that I'd like to keep the recycling here. Is there any possibility that we could maybe revisit the assessment if it lines up with the state? Are gonna open their.
We can raise the assessment year by year in those 3 years. So say it jumped, we can raise it if we need to cover costs. We're not seeing that. We think that this will balance out over the 3 years and should cover. Now Dixon Township, for the same service, is at 90, I think Daisy, Bonnie told me she's at $94, $96. Because Dixon has a higher rate because they don't have the same number of parcels. We're a much bigger township parcel-wise.
Right.
Yeah. So, and we're one of the oldest ones doing this the longest doing this with Republic Services, so we kind of have a grandfather.
Who gets the money for the metal and the glass and the paper?
It costs us money. So believe it or not, getting rid of a ton of recycling costs more than double to get rid of a ton of trash. There is no money made by recycling. I've had supervisors call me and ask about my recycling program and how much money does it make us. I said it doesn't. It would be cheaper, and I'm being 100% honest, it would be cheaper to throw everything in the trash. Is it the best stewards of this planet? No, probably not. But it would, so you have to think about it, the simplest way to say it is, we can put 21 yards of garbage, is it 21 or 22? 21 yards of garbage in the compactor. That green recycling bin is about 2 yards. So we pay about the same to get rid of the yardage, but we pay $350, actually I think it's $450 now, to take those containers. So if you divide $450 over 21 yards, or $450 over 2 yards, it's much more expensive to get rid of the recycling. See what I mean? And the little green bins are double the cost of what we currently pay. It costs us about $9 per parcel to do our recycling currently. To go with the GLF and the countywide system, it's about $17 a parcel. So that's why we stay with ours. Yes. Somebody else over here have their hand up? I thought I gave you some, no?
Came up, yeah.
Okay.
Is Republic the only service place that
It's
you
the
can deal
cheapest
with?
here in the county, yes.
Okay.
We've talked with Wexford and stuff, and they can't get to our prices where we need to be.
Okay.
You know, they can't beat Republic's prices right now, you know, like we're at currently. So, being local, county gas, you know, everything else is, that's kind of where we're at. Anybody else? Okay, if that lady had her hand up, we can revisit, I mean, it's not a problem. If nobody else has any other questions, we'll close the public hearing and get on with the regular meeting. Okay, I need a motion to close the public hearing. All in favor? Aye. Okay, call the, regular meeting of the Board of Trustees to order, and I need a motion to approve the consent agenda. Oh, I'm sorry, 7:10. All in favor? Okay. Just reapprove the consent agenda. Opposed? None. 5-0. All right, so we can start with Chief, Fire and EMS. What's our report there?
Well, first off, I'd like to thank the people in Norman Township and the vacationers that were up here this past weekend for allowing those first responders to enjoy our weekend. This is the first holiday weekend where we did not have a call, where we didn't have to go out and save somebody's butt. So, thank you. Much appreciated. We all got some family time. And so, Norman Township Fire was basically gifted a rescue boat. We now have a 13-foot Seawolf rescue boat. Long story short, we ended up getting it from Bear Lake Fire Department. They needed room, and Chief asked me if we were interested in it, and I said yes. He went to the township board. Township board voted to basically give us the boat for a very, very small donation. So, right now we are set. Hopefully nothing will happen. But as far as water rescue goes, we've got a boat sitting in the station that we can do water rescue. And so we trained on it a week ago. We brought it home on a Monday. The following night, we were down at High Bridge in the river training on it. Anybody that follows the Township Fire Department page can see that, what we were doing out there, getting prepared for the water rescue stuff.
What kind of boat is it?
It's an inflatable. It is made by Seawolf. It's got 2 inflatable pontoons on it. You can rescue a patient from the front, sides, or back. Obviously, if you're going from the back, you gotta have it shut off, and, you know, everything.
Right.
And so it's really cool.
Outboard, or?
Yeah, outboard. It's got a 40 horse Evinrude E-Tech on it.
Okay.
And it's a sweet little boat.
Probably a prop, not a jet, right?
Yeah.
And so we're sitting good on that part. And otherwise, we're just busy training. June was a busy month. We had a lot of big calls in June again. As you can see on our post that Ron put up on Facebook. Just busy training, trying to keep up on things. With the state implemented trainings that we have to do for firefighters and medical, and any officers need to have additional trainings. Otherwise, that's about it. It's going good.
And I want to make a statement too, because Chief and I and a couple of the other officers and some people from the fire department had a meeting, and kind of unrelated to this, but it isn't related, it is related to this. I remember this, Iams used to kind of joke about Norman Township Fire, okay? And we were kind of a little out there as far as our response, and we were not 100% professional. But Chief Vanderby and Deputy Chief Meltzer and all of the guys and ladies on that fire department, when I meet with these other supervisors and I work with a lot of these other government officials, we are the standard for the county now. I mean, we have some of the, we don't have the newest, but we have the best fleet of equipment. We have the numbers that everybody wishes they had in this township, or in this county. The quality of our people, the training that our people have, how many respond, and how professional our guys and ladies are. I get compliments from a lot of supervisors, and I haven't said that to Chief, or to either one of them. And I want to, it was probably my fault from the amount of compliments that I do get from all of you that put the time in, and you do it voluntarily. So we said that in a meeting, and I said I would mention that, and it is. We are the fire department that the rest of the county looks up to. So thank you guys for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Okay, Tim, what you got?
4th of July went good with everything. Bars didn't sink again, so good for that. Putting it together can be kind of stressful watching you push it out there, and hopefully it stays floating. Otherwise, everything went good with the weekend, busy and keeping up on the trash. Thanks for the ones that helped with that. I didn't come into town as many times as I did previous years, so even Saturday morning, it wasn't as bad as it was last year for some reason. Not sure if the numbers are down or people were just thinking of taking their own trash home, which I doubt. The backwaters was pretty good. One of the boat bumpers is coming off again, and there's just not enough lift there, and they get bumped into probably quite a few times this weekend. I'll have to get it screwed back on there. So, and then going to the transfer station, when you're talking about the recycle, that recycle trailer was taken last week, Wednesday or Thursday, and it's already full. So it definitely fills up faster in the summertime. But anyhow, otherwise everything's good there.
And I want to thank you how good everything looked. It did, and I think the extra trash cans that you picked up made a big difference too. There was, the trash was nowhere near as bad the morning after as it usually is. And Billy McFadden, I want to thank you and your group again for what you did, raising all that money. It was an amazing fireworks show. The low-level show that you did this year was awesome. Everybody seemed to really like it, and I think there was 2,000 to 3,000 people there. So it really showed up. It was slower during the day, but it picked up. And there was a couple issues with things that happened that might have kept a little bit of the people away at the beginning, but they all came at night, so it was good. Management Council, it's slowing down. I want to let people know that the hall will be closed Friday, Saturday, and Sunday due to some well work that we have to do on the township well. So there's no rentals, so we shut it down so we can do the work that we need to do over the weekend. So, Parks and Rec, what you got?
Alright, so we got our silhouette put in, you know, I've seen that. And then, so we were talking about that, memorial that's at the beach. So that was put in by Dan Gozak and his wife. So I think it's better just to leave it where it's at.
We'll find out.
And the bearing in the merry-go-round is, bad. Again. I put one in there about 10 years ago. And we got that through Wellston Auto. It's about $340+ to replace that. So that's something we're gonna have to get fixed again. So that's kind of a two-man deal, because you gotta pull that center cover off. So you gotta have someone underneath, someone on top, and, but, yeah, that bearing's probably about like that and about that deep. So,
And we can get numbers off of you think?
yeah, their number's right on it. Because I know when we had it done last, Andy Priest company had to cut it out, and we made sure we're able to get the numbers off of it. And this one, what we put in, it has it in different places, so you should be able to just pull that cover, get the numbers off of it, and, but it's a pretty pricey bearing. But, you know, $300-400 versus $10,000, that's a big difference.
Yeah, just, we'll get the numbers and get in and figure out how to get done. Okay.
And, that's all I got.
Okay. Planning?
We are still working on the master plan. We had a work session last Tuesday, finishing up our last chapter. Ben's gonna have that hopefully all tidied up and ready for us in a couple weeks at our regular meeting. And then,
Question for you. Are you guys looking at pushing that out, the master plan further out, rather than go every 5 years, go like every 10 years?
we're definitely talking about it, yeah. That got brought up. We're gonna have to bring that up at our meeting.
Right.
Actual meeting on our work session, so. But yeah, no, we're looking at different things there. Ben should have that section done hopefully for this month's meeting, and if everything goes well, we should be presenting it to the board in August, I would think.
Awesome.
Like I said, that's best case scenario, but well, section's pretty hefty one, so. That's all I got.
All right, so zoning, we had quite a few zoning permits come in, new land use permits, still getting quite a few pole barns, accessory buildings, a couple new houses, so standard summertime, a little bit much busier for zoning, for the building going on, so. Public comment on anything.
One share,
Anybody else wanna talk about anything? Is that? Those you? Okay. All right. Okay, so we'll move on to new business. First thing we have under item 1 is the resolution, for the second resolution, because you have to do the rubbish in 2 resolutions, so we're gonna send out another mailer. You'll get pretty much the same letter, and then we'll have our final meeting in August where we vote, where the board votes to continue the rubbish collection or not. So I need a motion to, or I will make the motion, to adopt resolution number 2025-2027, number 2.
Second.
Okay, and we'll do a roll call start, everybody.
Hold on. You need a roll call vote.
Yeah, she's doing,
I'm
when she
getting there.
finishes, yeah, when she finishes that, yeah.
All right, Rich,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Star, yes.
Okay, so it passes, so we'll send those letters out now. All right, next thing on the agenda is we have a biannual audit that is required that we do in the township, and this is for September. This audit will be done in September. So I need a motion to approve Lake Michigan CPA Services to do our audit, our biannual audit. Is it $42.50?
Yep.
Yeah. for the amount of $42.50. Do I have anybody to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor to do the biannual audit with, Lake Michigan CPA Services? Aye. Opposed? No. Okay. All right, so Crystal Lake Beach Wall. The reason why I put this on there is we had the bid for the concrete, over the 2 retaining wall bids for, Reliable Concrete at $75,000 and Fisher's at $6,000 for the excavation work. I would like permission to give them the okay so we can get on schedule for this fall, to move those forward, to get those, all that going. And then the only thing we have to do is I have to find brackets that can be attached to the concrete wall. Get a bid on those to weld those up, the 12-inch metal brackets to receive the holes, and then figure out how much material it's gonna be, treated wood, to do the rails. And I just have to put those numbers with 4th of July. I wasn't able to get those ready and done. Yes.
For those of us that don't live in the area, can you tell us a little bit what this is all about?
Well, it's okay, so if you go to Crystal Lake where we have our lake beach wall, that wooden wall was put in 31 years ago and it's starting to blow out, and we're afraid, we were happy that it made it through this 4th of July before it blows out.
Right.
So we want to replace that with something more permanent.
So is that at a public access?
No, it's the beach where everybody swims at and has ramps to get down to the T-dock and all that. It's our main park here in town.
So it's at a park?
Yes.
Not, oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a swimming beach.
Right,
at
I used to
Crystal
live
Lake.
on a lake, and it's like, okay, wait a minute.
No, it's a public park where it's our swimming beach right down here.
Okay.
If you turn by the post office.
Good enough.
So I just like approval by the board to let those companies know that we want to get going with that. Put us on your schedule, and then just start doing everything.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? No, okay, and like I said, I will get the railings, I'll have that by the next meeting. I'll have bids for doing the receivers for the rail and all that. Now, office remodel. This is something that's been coming down. One, we need some updates to our office a little bit, but we've had 3 incidences, actually 4 now, in Manistee County. 2 of it at the city, 1 at the county building. The city has changed their policy that all office doors are to be locked. The offices upstairs no longer can have people in the office. There are glass, 2-inch thick glass service windows with service trays. If you go from one office to another, you have to lock the door behind you, go into that office, work with the other staff, come back and unlock your office. You're not allowed to leave, because we've had people that have hidden in the building and have confronted office staff. Sadly to say, last week, our librarian had to clear the library out because a person had a backpack and a service dog, pulled out about a 6 to 8 inch knife and started shredding papers. It was quite scary. Our library was closed the rest of the week. They were kind of shaken up by it. And we have our 2 zoning administrators, myself, our clerk, our deputies, our treasurer and their deputies are in that office by themselves. None of you, but you just never know when that person's gonna be there. So I would like to, our plan that I have spoke with the board about, is to remove the counters and to build a wall with a door and everything. Just for protection. We're not gonna go the $2,000 bulletproof glass windows. I don't think we need to go there, but if somebody's upset, we can get out this back door and get out of this building through many other doors. I have talked to the librarian, and I told her to talk to her bosses. The problem there is there's only 1 exit, so where her office is, so we might have to do some other thinking there. Somebody to slow it down to get out of our offices, we can get out this back door and get out of there. So I would like to, this will probably involve some new office furniture after that, but I would like to at least get the counter, get the wall. I will do a lot of the work myself. Deputy Chief Melser has said he would help me too. We'll frame it up with wood, drywall it, probably do, I think I have some knotty pine in my shop that maybe we can decorate that and just get a steel door to prevent angry people from, possibly losing their cool. So I do not have a cost on that, like I said, it's gonna be materials, I'm gonna do the labor myself, probably looking at a service window. One of the ones that slide, you know, the two pieces of glass, it's maybe 2 by 3 that you can open and take papers and stuff through, or see if there's a dip. We would try to reuse as many of our counters and things like that. We have counters still good. The countertops and things like that, we talked about between the clerk and the treasurer's desk, taking the front counter, because it's a big nice counter to set things on. We will try to reuse all that where we can, but I just wanna secure the offices, so, and we will be frugal like we always are, but it's, that was too close to home last week, so. Anybody have a problem with me doing that? Get that going? Okay. I'll get that started soon. Okay, unless somebody else has anything, or there's any other comment, we are done. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Thank you all for coming.